What is soul? Soul is that which is at the center of everything. Every single individual thing that we view as separate from everything else has a soul connected to it. Whether it be a human being, an animal, an insect, a continent of land, a section of land, an ocean, a lake, a stream, a nature to a world, a nature to a universe, a nature to a galaxy. Everything has a soul at its center. And there are many different pieces that make up a soul. And now we're talking about different levels, different magnitudes of these combinations of souls. But a soul is essentially behind everything. And we can divide it into different segments and say this and that has a soul. But ultimately all souls are one. But for the sake of convenience, for the sake of understanding, and for the sake of time and how we are stuck in time, stuck in space, stuck in temporality, we understand soul as being in segmented forms, like beings, like different pieces of land, like different planets and different galaxies, different universes themselves, are different combinations of souls. And now every single human being, every sentient human being, every animal, every insect also has a soul that we can directly relate to because we understand this division on our level. This division of soul on our level is something that we must evolve through. We must realize that we ourselves as human beings are connected to every other human being. And in order to do that, we have to realize that every single human being has a segment of soul that is connected to in varying degrees to other souls. And then that's how we progress. That's how we realize. We start out with the idea of separation and then move forward to greater ideas of realization of connection. Now, what is spirit? Spirit is that life force. The life force that fills a body. And soul is what remembers. It's what records. Once it goes back to the source, all of this, I guess you could say, remembering, all of these recordings become one. Now, spirit is that which supplies the temporal manifestation with life. Provides it with energy that it may remain basically separate but also alive for the time that it must, so that the canvas can be filled with different beings. The spirit is something that can also be tied to ghosts. Once we die, the ego and what is left of the spirit kind of fills a ghost and allows that echo of consciousness to continue after we die. After the soul must move on, because the soul cannot be bound. The soul does always move on. And the spirit is that life force, that limited life force that kind of bleeds out into the rest of reality, to other beings. But let me give an example. Spirit. Spirit is filled with a certain amount. And so is soul. It is the Ohm symbol bronze bowl that I have here to represent soul. And the smaller spirit bowl, I guess you could call it a spirit bowl for this, which is white, which represents, of course, the life force. Now, the soul is bigger. It is connected to, things that are more diverse, things that are more combined. So it is not necessarily one color like the white of the soul bowl. Now, there is less in the spirit bowl. There's less fuel, if you will, because it is not something that is meant to last, not for one lifetime. Well, the spirit is meant to last for one lifetime. It's meant to fill this temporal reality with the amount of fuel necessary in order for us to live our life. And the soul bowl is kind of everlasting and always connected to that which is beyond. So it is very full, and it is always connected. The fuel doesn't go down in the soul bowl, and it is very bright. Once you reach your connection to your soul, then you start to realize that there is something beyond what your body is capable of, beyond what your individual is capable of realizing. of existing, of being. And the spirit bowl, you start to realize, is much more valuable in the time span that you have, because there's such a limited amount. There's such a small amount. It seems so apparent and immediate because it is bright. It is us, and ultimately because we are tied to egos. Us we view as light. No matter what kind of person you are, you view as yourself as being the light, a segment of the light. Whereas the soul bowl is very, kind of vague and gray, and so you could say bronze, burnt bronze, but it is multiplicitous. It is multiversal. It's transdimensional. So it's kind of mysterious, and that's why I chose the bronze bowl for the soul bowl, basically. And these things they dance around each other as we understand differing levels of how they operate and how they exchange between one another. And we can fill our spirit bowl with, the fuel of the soul bowl if we connect the two. But what cannot connect the two is ego. We have to get over the idea that we just fight for ourselves. We just fight for who we are and what we can gain. And once we realize that, the soul bowl can very quickly fill the spirit bowl to give us more time in this realm. But the goal should never be to gain more time, especially through life force. It should be to gain more understanding and acceptance that we are part of one ultimate soul. And once we realize that, once we start working towards that, then voila, the soul bowl remains more filled. However, that is not the goal, once again. The goal is to realize that both cups are, when understood individually, limited. But if we understand this as the vaster bowl and we're okay with the soul moving on, then the soul is no longer bound to the ego, no longer bound to this individual, this body. And we allow the spirit to pass on and not fuel a ghost, not fuel the combination of an ego and the spirit, and eventually it will fall into the universal consciousness, the subconscious of basically God. When we allow life force to flow back into the stream just below reality, then we start to feel the ability to move on from where we are now. And this can be understood far before our actual death happens, far before our actual demise. We can accept that the remainder of our spirit, of our life force, will flow back into the undercurrent just below reality. And that is the way to peace. Now, I would like to share something that is not related to soul and not related to, well, it's kind of related to soul. And like you see, the spirit bowl continues to burn because I filled it from lack of ego, from lack of trying to make this just mine and accepting that nothing is mine in particular, but what I would normally view as mine is really everybody's. So it will continue to burn. Now, I would like to share with you something that is unrelated to the topic that I'm talking about, and it is garlanding the Divine Mother Kali Ma behind me. Now, the tapestry behind me is of the Divine Mother Kali Ma, and this is a garland of flowers, basically, very much smudged with either Nag Champa or sandalwood, as I can tell from the smell. But this garland of flowers is very much ritualistic in Hinduism, as being put around sacred images as an offering. And the Divine Mother Kali Ma behind me on this tapestry is a tapestry that I've never garlanded before. And a fellow Hindu brought it to my attention that maybe I should garland it, because while I make offerings and I garland in ways the Divine Mother Kali Ma on my shrine in the bronze statue, I do not, or have not, garlanded the tapestry behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I ordered this off Amazon, and it is called Indian Garland Decorative for Prayers, new. And you'll be able to find it on Amazon if you look for it. But I'm going to go ahead and garland the tapestry behind me of the Divine Mother Kalima, because I think that would be an honorary, not message, but offering that I should have made a long time ago, because I've had this tapestry up for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I don't really like how it's fixed in like straws at the end, so I'm still trying to figure out how that secures, but I can probably secure it without too much effort. Yeah, that'll work. So, let me do that. Om Kring Kali Kaye Namaha. 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 Om. But, at any rate, thank you very much for watching. This has been a video about soul and spirit. What is soul? What is spirit? So, I hope this has been informative as far as my point of view goes, and I hope this last little bit was interesting to you as far as my own personal practice, and I hope to see all of you in the future in the comment section below, and hey, feel free to hit that thumbs up down there. It really helps out the channel. Y'all have a great day, and may you find yourselves.